Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Granddaughter hits a ghost and hides into My Martyrs Cemetery. Late at night, female anchor Xiao Zhiqing was on her way home from work when she was chatting with water friends during live streaming, but unfortunately ended up hitting a ghost. In a hurry, Xiao Zhiqing fled all the way to the nearby Martyrs Cemetery, where her great-grandfather, as a martyr of the anti-Japanese war, was also buried. Just as Xiao Zhiqing was about to be chased by evil spirits, a figure with a straight and upright posture appeared. Backhand hitting the evil ghost is a slap. Where the hell are you from? Look up at me. Are you the only one pursuing my descendants? Xiao Zhiqing was foolish, and the live broadcast exploded instantly. Net friend, child, do you know where this is? Dare to break in with any identity. Sleeping trough, this momentum, I'm afraid even if the Yen Prince comes, I have to salute him. Black and white impermanence follows and kicks forward. Ghost. I admit, I spoke a bit loudly just now. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Martyrs Cemetery. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's broken. It's too difficult to take a taxi at this point. Originally, there were fewer cars in the old city area. Xiao Zhiqing sighed. The taxi app on the phone is constantly rotating and loading, waiting for the driver to take the order. It's already 12:10 in the morning, and she has been waiting here for more than 10 minutes. Looking around, dim streetlights were shining on both sides of the dark road. Due to the old urban area, it has long been in disrepair, and the difference between having lights and not having them is not too big. On the contrary, these few streetlights occasionally have explosive flashing effects. Make the road feel more permeable throughout the night. Fortunately, on the other side of Xiao Zhiqing's bracket, there was also a dedicated live streaming phone hanging. At this moment, bullet comments were floating on the public screen, and fans were active. Let Xiao Zhiqing stand alone on the roadside, feeling less nervous. It's nearly July and a half recently, and it's going to be Zhongyuan festival soon, so there are fewer drivers willing to take orders at night. Yeah. Besides, Xiaoqing's location is still in the old city area, making it even harder to take a taxi. It's okay, don't be afraid of beautiful women. Do you like Brother Bing? I went to a 14-day military training summer camp in my second year of junior high. Upstairs crazy huh? But to be honest, we should try our best to go out as little as possible recently. The Zhongyuan festival is coming, and there are more and more evil spirits. Recently, there have been many mysterious and murderous cases in Linhai City, where the anchor is located. Family members put protection on the public screen. The popularity of the live broadcast room is not too high. There are only about 100 people, but the activity level is still not low. The barrage is flashing wildly, and occasionally small gifts can pop up. I know now. I shouldn't have any evening shifts after tomorrow. You don't have to go home so late anymore. Xiao Zhiqing squeezed out a smile. Needless to say, she often sees some news in the same city recently. Evil spirits are rampant, and there have been several supernatural homicides. So far, as long as it's an ordinary person who hits ghosts. None of them can survive yet. That is to say, as long as you hit ghosts, it's a 100% mortality rate. Xiao Zhiqing certainly didn't want to go home so late. But this is also out of helplessness, we need to work to earn money. She is currently a sophomore student at Linhai University. Day study means that when there are no classes, one will work part-time. And because of her beautiful appearance and figure. In the remaining time, the live streaming water duration will also be activated. This can be considered as the second part-time job. Sometimes work is scheduled for the evening shift, and she has no choice. For example, today, she just finished her evening shift and went home. The electric scooter broke down in the morning, otherwise she wouldn't have chosen to take a taxi. If we walk back, the road is so dark, after all, she is just a 19-year-old little girl. I still don't have the courage. If I hit a ghost, the trouble would be even greater. Fortunately, at this moment, on the other side of the road, two dazzling headlights shone from a distance. Xiao Zhiqing also noticed the green empty car sign on the roof of the car. Master, here. Xiao Zhiqing quickly raised her hand to block the car. I breathed a sigh of relief in my heart, finally I can go home. The car lights were getting closer and closer, and Xiao Zhiqing got into the taxi smoothly. When the buttocks were pressed against the soft seat, the feet finally got released. Master, go to Labor Road and Guangming Community. Xiao Zhiqing exhaled a mouthful of turbid air and said the address. Strangely, the driver is quite cold and aloof. Just shifting gears and turning without paying attention to Xiao Zhiqing. Xiao Zhiqing slightly pinned her head away. Try looking at the driver through the rearview mirror. Girls need to have a certain level of safety awareness when they are alone outside. I saw the driver in front with loose hair, who turned out to be a female master. Wearing white clothes, I don't know if it should be called a long shirt or a long skirt. Finally, there is the face, with eerie and frightening makeup. No matter how it looks, it doesn't seem like a normal makeup look. Female driver. Yo ho. It's a bit scary. It looks so strange, this driver. You can see the white reflection in the car. Something's wrong, there's definitely a 15-point discrepancy. Wait. White face, fine eyebrows, small mouth, big powder blusher, it's obviously dead makeup. Damn it. Brother, don't scare me. I'm just saying why it looks so awkward. This is not makeup that strangers would put on. Xiao Qing, get off the car quickly. With so many water enthusiasts in the live broadcast room, the problem was quickly discovered. Quickly reminded Xiao Zhiqing through the screen. Even some netizens are crazily popping up connection requests. Enable Xiao Zhiqing to notice the phone screen faster. Death. Death makeup. Xiao Zhiqing glanced at the public screen. Suddenly, his face tingled, as if tens of thousands of ants had crawled by. Master, get off. I want to get off. Speaking, Xiao Zhiqing shouted loudly. But the driver has no intention of stopping at all. On the contrary, the speed is getting faster and faster. The car began to blow air from all sides, and the cold wind made Xiao Zhiqing shiver all over. In a hurry, close your eyes tightly and try to hit the car door with your body. Bang! Bang! With one or two impacts, the car body was unexpectedly deformed. The car swayed left and right, but still didn't stop. I don't know how long it took, but when Xiao Zhiqing opened her eyes again. The car has crashed and stopped on a red wall. Half squinting her eyes, Xiao Zhiqing looked out through the car window. I can just see the 7 regular characters engraved on the red wall, My Martyrs Cemetery. Chapter 2. Pap. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Little girl, you crashed my car. A cold and eerie voice came from inside the car. Scared, Xiao Zhiqing suddenly turned her head. But this turn of the head happened to align with the driver. The driver's hair, which was originally scattered and covering his face, was pulled apart. This revealed the driver's original appearance. The whole face of the female driver was covered in flour. The facial features were forcefully outlined with a pen, along with the white clothes all over. There is a strong sense of fear that resembles both humans and non-humans. Just take a glance and have nightmares for at least half a month. Don't get so close to the camera, my mom, Amitabha Buddha, I didn't mean to disturb you, it's none of my business, Xiao Qing, run. Ghost. It's really a ghost. Xiao Zhiqing's brain has already crashed. I never expected that even stopping a car on the roadside would lead to a ghost. Open the car door and run out of the taxi in embarrassment. At this point, look back again. The car still looks like a taxi. It's clearly a blue paper stuck in the car. This scene instantly made Xiao Zhiqing's scalp cool. So, no wonder she just sat in the car and felt the cold wind blowing from all sides. The car deformed after being hit hard by her for a few times. A paper-tied car is certainly not as sturdy. This is a ghost driver collision. If you don't detect and escape in time. It is estimated that this trip back is not on Labor Road, but on Huangquan Road. If you destroy my car, I'll take your life. The sound of a female ghost, as if coming from the underworld, followed. The ghost driver tiptoed on both feet, tiptoed to the ground, and lightly chased towards Xiao Zhiqing ahead. Xiao Zhiqing was trembling all over. You should know that ordinary people cannot leave alive as long as they hit ghosts. She is only 19 years old and has not graduated from college. If she had to die like this in the hands of a sneaky creature. How could Xiao Zhiqing be content? Even though her feet trembled, she never stopped. Running all the way into the red wall, that is in the Martyrs Cemetery of Linhai City. The ghost driver chased behind slowly and leisurely. Enjoying the feeling of playing Xiao Zhiqing. Tormenting living people is their favorite thing for these ghosts. Help! Xiao Zhiqing's voice trembled as she shouted loudly. Previously, there were people guarding the Martyrs Cemetery here. Despite Xiao Zhiqing shouting for a long time, no one responded. Due to the rampant presence of ghosts, it has long been impossible to recruit employees who are willing to work overtime at night to guard the park. Moreover, Xiao Zhiqing was also frightened. Even now there are others. Faced with ghosts, can they not survive? Still unable to escape a single word of death. Inside the Martyrs Cemetery in Linhai City. Xiao Zhiqing is quite familiar with it. On the Qingming Festival and September 3rd, the anniversary of the victory of the anti-Japanese war, every year. Xiao Zhiqing would come to the cemetery with her parents to worship her ancestors. Her great-grandfather was her great-grandfather back then. Participated in the war of resistance against Japanese aggression and ultimately sacrificed himself on the battlefield. Later, after the victory of the war, he was buried in this cemetery. Therefore, when Xiao Zhiqing was being chased by a ghost driver, the subconscious escape route was running towards the grave where Grandpa Zheng was. Done. This ghost is getting closer and closer. What should I do? Xiao Qing can't run anymore, dead. The ghost is here, hurry up and call the police, me. I'll go call the police. Let the people from the police and paranormal departments come and save people. The ghost driver seems to be getting tired of playing, just accelerating. Immediately pressed behind Xiao Zhiqing. The palm locked against Xiao Zhiqing's neck and tightly restrained her. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Zhiqing's entire face turned red due to congestion. My throat began to make a painful, hee-hee sound. The feeling of suffocation quickly appeared, leaving Xiao Zhiqing's brain blank and losing the ability to think. My field of vision also darkened and I gradually became unable to see anything. The bracket in my hand fell off and fell to one side. However, the camera can still capture the scene of the ghost driver and her. The anxious water friends are all frying pan. The live broadcast room, which originally had only 100 people, has now surpassed thousands of people. Damn these ghosts. Innocent people will be killed again. Such a beautiful little girl, damn it. These ghosts are really damn. If possible, I am willing to exchange my life for my own, so that young people can live well, who can eradicate all these ghosts on earth. Give the world peace. They have already been locked in by ghosts, even now the police and the people from the supernatural department may not be able to arrive in time. Xiao Zhiqing couldn't help but shed tears from the corner of her eyes. Instinctively reaching out in the direction of my great-grandfather's tomb. It's over, her 19 years of miserable life have come to an end. At this moment, Xiao Zhiqing's heart had completely cooled down. At this moment. In a daze, Xiao Zhiqing felt as if an illusion had appeared in front of her. A shadow flashed out of the tomb, as fast as lightning. I haven't waited for Xiao Zhiqing to react yet. A loud slap had already fallen on the face of the ghost driver. Pop. A crisp explosion. The ghost driver's white-faced head was pulled out completely. Transformed into a ball, it rolled down to the ground in an instant. Xiao Zhiqing felt her neck loosen, air filled her nose, and her brain went dizzy for a moment. My feet were weak, and I knelt right in front of the rushing figure. The entire cemetery fell into a dead silence. Chapter 3. Tearing Ghost Objects by Hand. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Zhiqing looked up. In front of her stood a majestic figure. He stood tall and dressed in green. His eyes were deep, and there were traces of being washed by wind and frost on his face. Between my eyebrows and eyes, there was a slight hint of anger. This face made Xiao Zhiqing feel incredibly familiar. Quickly searching for this face in my mind. In just an instant, memories were captured. Staring wide-eyed and shocked, he couldn't help but blurt out, shouting, "Zheng! Grandpa Zheng!" Yes, the photo in front of her is exactly the same as the photo that her father often gave her when she was young. Back then, Xiao Zhiqing's great-grandfather sacrificed himself. He is only 25 years old. Therefore, the change in appearance is not significant. But, my great-grandfather who died nearly 100 years ago. Suddenly appearing in front of her still shocked Xiao Zhiqing. Can you say ghosts have revived, and Grandpa Zheng has also revived along with them? Grandpa Zheng. Did Xiaoqing shout correctly? Will it appear in the Martyrs Cemetery, which means that Xiaoqing's great-grandfather was a martyr of the past, so handsome. Xiaoqing looks so beautiful, it turns out to be a family gene. So young, I'm afraid he passed away young. Respected ancestors. Just one punch and the ghost driver's head flew out, what a powerful force. Not only Xiao Zhiqing. Even the live broadcast room was equally shocked. I thought Xiao Zhiqing might have died here. But at this critical moment, her great-grandfather suddenly appeared. And with just one slap, the ghost driver's head flew out. Such scenes, along with powerful forces, bringing them unimaginable impact. Are you okay? Xiao Yi spoke out and looked down at her great-granddaughter on the ground. Xiao Zhiqing stared blankly at Grandpa Zheng and nodded dully, it's okay. Thank you, Grandpa Zheng. Xiao Zhiqing expressed gratitude. If it weren't for Grandpa Zheng appearing in time. Now that her mind is divided, it's designated that she's not the ghost driver anymore. Xiao Yi noticed the ghost claw mark on Xiao Zhiqing's neck. Anger suddenly surged again. Little sneaky, the descendants who chased after him unexpectedly came to his grave. Although the body was separated, the ghost driver's body did not collapse. The head that fell in the distance, with eyes filled with endless resentment, staring intently at Xiao Yi. Death. Death. I want you to die. The piercing sound of the ghost driver pierced through the night. For a while, the head and body flew towards Xiao Yi at the same time. Grandpa Zheng. Be careful. Xiao Zhiqing shouted anxiously. But the next moment, she realized that her worries were purely unnecessary. Xiao Yi grabbed the head of the ghost driver with both hands. One hand is gripping the body of the ghost driver. No matter how the ghost driver twitched, he couldn't break free or get close to Xiao Yi. Damn it. Are you the only one pursuing my descendants? Xiao Yi's pupils shrank and his ghostly aura erupted. Using hands as knives, following the head and body. All split open. Suddenly, a foul-smelling ghost blood mist exploded in all directions. The ghost driver was like this, easily torn apart by Xiao Yi. Within the cemetery, A calm has been restored. Except for the shattered ghost corpses on the ground. It seems like nothing has happened. Even in the live broadcast room. Also freeze down with stillness. Everyone was frightened by the scene of Xiao Yi tearing apart the ghost driver and losing their language organization ability. This. Xiao Zhiqing, who was kneeling on the ground, looked foolish. Fierce. It was so terrifying just now. The ghost driver who almost killed her. In front of my great-grandfather, I am simply weak and unbearable. It's like killing a chicken, it's easy to kill. It's been a while. The netizens in the live broadcast room finally reacted. I blanch. That ghost, is it like this? Dead. Truly worthy of being a martyr of the past, so strong. My hair stands on end. We didn't see the martyrs tearing up ghosts with their hands back then, but now we see them tearing up ghosts with our own eyes. Even through the screen, I can feel Grandpa Zhang's majestic righteousness. Not to be joking, it gives the impression that black and white are no longer common, and one must take a serious step. The level of respect that comes from the King of Hell. Ghost. I admit I spoke a bit loudly just now. I knew it was rotten outside. In the live broadcast room. Crazy barrage refresh. Various special effects GIFs are also constantly flashing on the screen. The 1,000-person live broadcast room just now. Unconsciously. Surprisingly, it has already surpassed 10,000 people. That is to say, just now 10,000 people witnessed the scene of Xiao Yi killing ghosts with their own eyes. And at this moment, in front of Xiao Yi's eyes, a light curtain automatically pops up, which is the system panel. Congratulations on successfully activating the Yingling system, host. Xiao Yi, age at death. 25, note. Detected current world ghostly aura blocking, ghostly creatures reviving. Ding. The system successfully checked in on the first day. Obtain the Kill Ghosts and Draw Yin skill. The host can kill ghosts, absorb their Yin energy, and improve their own level. Ding, successfully killed Ghost Driver, level up to Ghost level. Chapter 4. Is the Ancestral Mansion gone? You are listening at novelfull.audio. System. It's worth it. Xiao Yi had a stern expression and breathed a long sigh of relief. As a traveler. He traveled to this parallel world back then, coinciding with the period of the Republic of China's anti-Japanese war. I resolutely chose to participate in the anti-Japanese war. I have long awakened the system and have been dead for almost 100 years now. The system has finally been activated successfully. Xiao Yi is well aware that it is also due to the activation of the system. He was able to recover. Grandfather. Xiao Zhiqing whispered in a low voice. Xiao Yi finally regained his senses from the system panel. Now is not the time to speak. Let's go, I'll take you out of here first. Xiao Yi said. Now he has just regained consciousness. I don't know anything about what has happened in the past century. Although it is a parallel world, the historical process is also extremely similar. But there are also many differences. For example, in Xiao Yi's former world, it was impossible for ghosts to appear. Therefore, it is still necessary to find a place to consider in the long run. Leave this place first, so that there won't be any more ghosts that he can easily kill. But following a little girl nearby can be quite troublesome to protect. Ah. Good. Thank you, Grandpa Zhang. Xiao Zhiqing knelt down to thank him. This is too dreamy, not real. My ancestors and martyrs are currently on the side. With my great-grandfather around, it's like encountering ghosts again. The unlucky ones will definitely only be ghosts. Xiao Yi walked out of the Martyrs Cemetery with his great-granddaughter. Although dead or dead, regaining consciousness can be considered a rebirth. So Xiao Yi can't just sit here and wait for death. Back then, he still left a lot of things unfinished. This recovery requires him to solve it one by one. It's broken. Did some water users just call the police? Does this count as reporting false alarms? Definitely not. There are indeed ghosts. It's just that the ghosts have been dried and shattered. We'll know when the Supernatural Bureau and the police, Shu, arrive later. Zhiqing, when did the ghosts start to revive and appear? Xiao Yi asked. It was 7 years ago. News of ghosts gradually appearing and people being killed. The number of ghosts is still increasing every year. Xiao Zhiqing quickly replied. These are all publicly recorded online. Xiao Yi nodded thoughtfully. After asking several more questions, I finally gained a rough understanding of the current world situation. The good news is that fortunately, the war that year was won and the country's mountains and rivers were unharmed. The bad news is that the revival of ghosts has caused panic among people. Every day, it is necessary to remind people to be cautious and avoid attacks from ghosts. The victory and peace of war that our ancestors exchanged for with their lives and blood were destroyed by ghosts. Brothers, believe that good times will come. The sunshine will soon reappear, yes. Perhaps, Xiaoqing's great-grandfather's recovery is a sign of transformation. Martyrs resurrected. What kind of ghost? Cut them all down. Just now, Grandpa Xiaoqing tore off the ghost driver with his hands. He was really handsome. However, the state took the initiative and established supernatural bureaus in various regions. Those who can join are all kinds of talented individuals and extraordinary warriors who can fight against ghosts and monsters. Monks, Taoists, witchcraft, or mystical sections. Regardless of everything, they all participate in a camp to fight against ghosts. Also, all the ghosts. The supernatural realm is determined by their level of threat, strength, and so on. A comprehensive level classification has been made, which includes Wandering Soul, Evil Ghost, Fierce Ghost, Ghost General, Ghost Handsome, and Ghost Emperor. Among them, the most common is the Wandering Soul. They usually have no consciousness, only instinctive aggression. Evil ghosts are very rare, and the ghost driver just now belongs to the category of evil ghosts. As long as one appears, it can harm a small and medium-sized city. This city is causing restlessness. As for the fierce ghost, not to mention it. Ordinary local supernatural situations cannot be solved. At present, Xiao Yi has just recovered and his level is among the fierce ghosts. Going up further would be devastating. I don't know why, but I knew my great-grandfather was also a deceased person. Even walking on the side, Xiao Zhiqing still felt a sense of security in her heart. The pace has become much more steady. I'm not so afraid of this pitch-black road section anymore. The figure of Xiao Yi on the side was like giving Xiao Zhiqing a calming pill. Arrive at Guangming Community on Labor Road. Xiao Zhiqing opened the door in front and said, Grandpa Zheng, we're here. Xiao Yi frowned and stepped into the room. Glancing around, there were 3 bedrooms and 1 living room, which were still somewhat narrow. Just now when he walked into the community, he felt something was wrong. Where is the ancestral home of the Xiao family? Xiao Yi asked. What about such a large ancestral home back then? How did it become a residential suite? And it's still an old residential area. On the 6th floor, there are no elevators. Back then, I traveled to the Republic of China. Xiao Yi became one of the top families in Linhai City at that time, the young master of the Xiao family. How prosperous the family is, with a thriving population. Although business is affected by the war, it is impossible for it to collapse. With the advice and help of Xiao Yi, Xiao Yang, the younger brother, has made the Xiao family's seafood and fabric clothing business a leading player by the sea. Otherwise, Xiao Yi would not be able to confidently join the front line. In these 100 years, not only will future generations carry forward, At least leave some secrets, right? If the ancestral home is gone now, the situation should be, has the family been wiped out? Also, Xiao Yi suddenly realized. Otherwise, her great-granddaughter Xiao Zhiqing wouldn't have fallen into despair. I need to become an online anchor and work part-time to make ends meet. Our ancestral home of the Xiao family disappeared over a decade ago. Xiao Zhiqing dared not look up and answered in a low, resentful voice. Chapter 5. Despice Measures. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The family had a glorious history back then. Although Xiao Zhiqing had no experience, she always heard her father talk about it, but later it declined too quickly. So much so that their family can now be considered a salaried family. The ancestral home of the Xiao family. According to Grandpa Xiaoqing, the Xiao family was a big family back then. Is it the Xiao family in Linhai? I remember. I think I heard my grandfather say it. Back in our city of Linhai, the largest family was the Xiao family. There were many people in the family, and the business was also doing well. Most importantly, what my grandfather often talks about is that during the anti-Japanese war, the Xiao family donated the most supplies and food. I'm Xiao. And in that case, as a young master of a big family, Grandpa Xiaoqing would be willing to choose to join the army and resist the war. It's so admirable. I just lay flat and pretend to be a child. What happened later? What happened to the Xiao family later? It's just a drop. Otherwise, we hanging hairs would be able to chat with Xiaoqing on a regular basis. Speaking of the Xiao family, there are indeed some fellow city water enthusiasts in the live broadcast room who have heard from their elderly family members. After all, the Xiao family back then not only had a strong family. He is also known for donating money and food. He made significant contributions to the anti-Japanese war. Provide long-term relief to the suffering people of Linhai City. The reputation among the elderly is very good. The popularity of the live broadcast room suddenly skyrocketed. Xiao Zhiqing has never seen such popularity before. It can last up to a few months of regular broadcasting. Therefore, Xiao Zhiqing was not willing to close the live broadcast. Although she was well aware that it was thanks to her great-grandfather's blessings. Everyone is watching Grandpa's income. However, Xiao Zhiqing really needs money urgently. My father was sick and refused to go for treatment because of her education. Working outside with her mother to earn her high tuition fees. So, she works so hard every day to attend classes and find time to work part-time. I just want to relieve some of the burden on my family. Is it gone? Do you know about the situation? Xiao Yi asked. No matter how prosperous a family is, there will definitely be a day of decline. This is very common and normal. But Xiao Yi was the eldest son of the Xiao family back then. It is still responsible and necessary to know the specific situation and reasons behind it. I know a lot, my dad has told me a lot. Grandfather, why don't you sit down first? Xiao Zhiqing nodded and asked Xiao Yi to sit down. Her father is the closest direct relative. So, everything about the family is well understood. Xiao Zhiqing naturally learned about it through her father's mouth. I heard my dad say that after you went to the battlefield, Grandpa sang. Actually, the family situation is not very good. The Lin family in Linhai City, now known as the Lin Group, are rapidly rising. Quickly, he became another big family in Linhai City. Xiao Zhiqing whispered, according to what her father had told her before. Reorganized it and slowly explained it to Xiao Yi. Lin Group, oh. This big guy, the entire Linhai City is indeed dominated by the Lin family now. Linhai City. It's not just Linhai City anymore. They've already reached out their hands. There are businesses and enterprises all over the country. It's not just about a local family, Anjua, shouldn't it be Xiao Qing and the Xiao and Lin families from back then who had any conflicts or conflicts? Listening to this tone, I'm afraid it's very likely. The name Lin Group is very well known. Xiao Zhiqing just mentioned it. Many water enthusiasts will know about it. Even in Linhai City, there are businesses they cover nationwide. Grandfather Zheng, wait a moment, Xiao Zhiqing felt like saying it again. The impact may be a bit significant. Not suitable for live streaming, so I prepared to go and close the live broadcast. But unexpectedly, he was stopped by Xiao Yi. You can spread it while it's on, and others can also see it, right? Don't worry, just say it directly. Our Xiao family has always acted openly and without fear of others' words. Xiao Yi's low voice. As a traveler, he certainly knows that his phone is live streaming. But for Xiao Zhiqing, if our ancestors had sacrificed so many years, it's a bit scary to even know about live streaming on mobile phones after a sudden recovery. As for the Lin family, Xiao Yi knows. Back then, there was an unknown small family in Linhai City. When Xiao Yi was still in the family, where did they stand out? As long as Xiao Yi comes forward with his younger brother, there is no business that cannot be negotiated. Unexpectedly, after Xiao Yi went to the front line, did the Lin family really get started? And listen to Xiao Zhiqing's tone and meaning. Xiao Yi has already guessed the decline of the Xiao family. It is estimated that it is closely related to the Lin family. Since that's the case, let the netizens in the live broadcast room listen together. He fought on the battlefield and sacrificed his life for the country. How was the family in my hometown stolen by others? There's nothing that can't be seen, including reviving from Xiao Yi's awakening system. When killing the ghost driver, I always knew that Xiao Zhiqing was driving a live broadcast. But it didn't stop or make Xiao Zhiqing shut down the live broadcast. It's because Xiao Yi wanted to do it this way. To spread the message of his recovery and return to the human world. It just saves the process of finding ways to contact those people and saves trouble. When Xiao Yi stepped out of the cemetery, he had already said it in his heart. I accidentally died back then, leaving behind many unfinished matters. This time the system was activated, and he successfully recovered. Everything, in fact, Xiao Yi had already understood and calculated it. This is, according to Grandpa Zheng. Xiao Zhiqing was stunned for a moment. Unexpectedly, Grandpa Zheng could even see this and quickly nodded in response. Handsome. Even when talking, it carries a strong aura. Has my great-grandfather gotten married yet? I thought I didn't have to watch anymore. I want to know what happened back then, me too. How could such a big Xiao family have declined? Xiao Qing, rest assured that tens of thousands of us have designated it as not to be leaked. Who goes to IT Lin Group and asks their CEO to come and listen? Yes. Bring him ET over. Summon the elders. What my dad told me is. At that time, it was impossible for the Lin family alone to suppress our Xiao family. Later, they somehow joined forces with some foreign vendors who happened to be preparing to station in our country. Afterwards, we worked together to crazily seize the channel business that our family had opened up. The shops and the supply chain of goods are like picking up ready-made items. Whatever we do, they will seize it with the help of foreign investors. In addition, the war is chaotic, and no one wants to offend those foreign businessmen. We can only afford to suffer these losses. Including the head of our Xiao family back then, which was your younger brother, my second great-grandfather had nothing to do. In the end, he fell seriously ill and unfortunately passed away. Xiao Zhiqing sighed long. This matter, although far away from her, is quite distant. And there is no first-hand experience. But every time my father speaks, his emotions are unusually low and angry. Collaborating with foreign vendors. They really have only one way to confront our Xiao family. However, the means are somewhat despicable. Xiao Yi said in a deep voice, with a dark anger in his eyes. Chapter 6. Xiao Yi, come back. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. At that time, the war situation was critical, and the business was at its peak under the leadership of Xiao Yi. But he still resolutely chose to hand over the heavy burden of the family to his younger brother Xiao Yang. I joined the army and became an anti-Japanese soldier. I thought he had laid the foundation and the management of my younger brother Xiao Yang. Even if he can't come back, at least it can sustain the Xiao family. I didn't expect the Lin family to come out halfway. Taking advantage of the war, unite with foreign businesses to seize their own resources and suppress the Xiao family. In the end, it even led to the death of his younger brother Xiao Yang due to illness. Okay. The more so, the more important it is to allow information to spread. Xiao Yi has never been a person with a good temper that can be suppressed. No matter what posture he stands here in. Whether it's a hero or a ghost. But he was the eldest son of the Xiao family back then. I have an obligation to lead the Xiao family to a better life. But now, the vast infrastructure has been dismantled. The people of the tribe also fell apart. Xiao Yi couldn't bear it. The live broadcast is just right, spreading the news. Believe it, there will soon be someone who can't sit still before them. I'm Xiao. I didn't expect the Lin family to be so despicable. In times of national crisis, he joined forces with outsiders to suppress his own people, so it's like this. That's why the once so big Xiao family suddenly declined. How despicable. Intentionally seizing other people's resources, collaborating with foreign businesses, and causing the Xiao family to scatter everywhere. Damn it, the official account of the Etlin group is coming in and being scolded. The water enthusiasts in the live broadcast room were all indignant. However, Xiao Zhiqing's words have not been fully finished yet. So he continued, after the death of the head of the second great-grandfather's family, he became his son, and that is, my second grandfather inherited the position of head of the family. The family's situation was already very poor, but I heard that there was a shortage of food on the front line. He still followed the consciousness you explained back then. Choose to prioritize national difficulties first. A large amount of real gold and silver was collected as grain, stored in granaries, and donated to the front line. I could have survived, but this donation has completely lost the chance to turn things around. The Lin family and those foreign businessmen won't care whether we donate food or not, they still won't give us a living. The final fabric business was completely blocked by them. Fortunately, we won that battle. However, when we look back, there is only one ancestral home left in our Xiao family. And this ancestral home didn't last long either. More than a decade ago, it was forcibly acquired by the Lin Group and built into a joint venture Lin Hai department store with Japan. After speaking, Xiao Zhiqing lowered her head. She may not have had much experience with the previous events. She was present regarding the matter of Kozu's residence. I am just a 4 or 5-year-old child. Overnight, the gate of the Xiao family was pushed open. The ancestral home of the family was mercilessly razed to the ground. For Xiao Zhiqing, who is only 4 or 5 years old, the impact is very significant. Not to mention other people who grew up in ancestral homes since childhood. Lin Hai department store. So that used to be the ancestral home of the Xiao family. The Xiao family is deeply concerned about the national crisis. Even if they are in dire straits, they are still providing support. I really cry to death. As a result, they didn't even leave their ancestral home. Damn it. What kind of person is this? Lahe. It's still a joint venture with the Japanese side. I won't go to Lin Hai department store to buy anything again in the future. I cried and didn't get knocked down by outsiders, but instead, I was frantically stabbing myself. I never knew before, and I had a good impression of the Lin group. Damn it, I'm blind. My great-grandfather, who really wanted to hug Xiao Zhiqing, even though he had sacrificed his life to defend his hometown of hygiene and nurturing, was stabbed in the back by a villain, and the family failed to hold on. Xiao Yi's face was gloomy. At the same time, there was a hint of self-blame in my heart. Back then, he was not well prepared. Hurriedly left the Xiao family. Leaving such a hidden danger for the Xiao family. It's sunny. Xiao Yi raised his hand and lightly stroked Xiao Zhiqing's head twice. As a descendant of his Xiao family, one should never suffer such injustice. It's okay, since I'm back. Everything about the Xiao family will also come back. Xiao Yi said coldly and solemnly. He is not boasting or comforting Xiao Zhiqing. But the fact is that Xiao Yi has this confidence and confidence. As long as he sets foot on this land again, whether alive or dead, they all have the ability to easily revive their families. He alone is the entire Xiao family. This is also the purpose of keeping Xiao Zhiqing on live streaming. As a traveler, even without a system. But for 2 lifetimes on the battlefield back then, Xiao Yi couldn't just sacrifice himself so easily. It's okay, Grandpa Zheng. Just stay here. Xiao Zhiqing lay beside Xiao Yi's legs. The ghostly aura emanating from Xiao Yi's body carried a hint of coldness. Make Xiao Zhiqing more sober. As a great-grandfather and martyr. Even if the country discovers it, it will definitely protect it. It won't cause any danger to Grandpa Zheng. As for what revitalizes the family, Xiao Zhiqing did not want Grandpa Zheng to intervene in these matters. Sometimes, people are more complex and dangerous than ghosts. Could you please inform the people who can be contacted? Just say, I'm back. Xiao Yi said. Give the task to Xiao Zhiqing. The ancestral home is gone, and the tribe is scattered. Today Xiao Yi has returned, it is the day of reunion. Yes. I will contact you now. Xiao Zhiqing responded, this is definitely right. In this era where ghosts and monsters are rampant, it is indeed necessary for our ancestors to come back and pay their respects. At the same time, Xiao Zhiqing crashed into the Martyrs Cemetery. Xiao Yi appeared and tore open the live broadcast recording screen of the ghost driver. Quickly becoming popular on the internet. The video's likes have exceeded 1 million. It also has over 100,000 comments. Even Xiao Zhiqing's own live streaming account is crazily gaining followers. As of now, it has gained over 300,000 followers. Meanwhile, it has sparked heated discussions on the internet. My Dharma. The martyrs revive and tear off the female ghost with their hands, the great-grandfather of the female anchor. So young, dressed in green, and in the Martyrs Cemetery, he is definitely the martyr of the past. What kind of omen is this? Although ghost-level ghosts can have consciousness, don't ghosts have the instinct to kill? How can they save people? Did you compare their martyrs to ordinary ghosts? They must be considered heroes. So handsome. And very strong. The Xiao family. Is it the Xiao family from Linhai City? The family that donated the most during the anti-Japanese war. The comments section is full of discussions. Ordinary ghosts, reaching the level of evil spirits, will have independent consciousness. The instinct of ghosts is to take the life of humans. They only have consciousness that is convenient enough for them to think about how to kill and kill more people. It is absolutely impossible to save people. From the appearance of ghosts to so many years now, there has never been a ghost fighting to save people before. Therefore, netizens find it so bizarre. However, on second thought, Xiao Yi is not able to locate with ordinary ghost thinking. As the martyrs of the past, sacrificing one's life was to protect them. Even if one becomes a ghost after death, it's impossible to do anything that would harm them, no matter what you think. It should not be called a ghost, but should be defined as a hero. However, the most curious thing is, there were so many martyrs who sacrificed themselves in the anti-Japanese war back then. Why would it happen to revive someone like Xiao Yi? This is something they can't figure out. Almost at the same time, outside the Martyrs Cemetery in Linhai City, there are several police cars and vehicles from the paranormal department parked. Due to the scarcity of members in the Supernatural Bureau, police officers are usually responsible for assisting in handling cases. In front of Xiao Yi's tomb, two detectives from the Supernatural Bureau, Yang Xiaofeng and Luo Yong, sensed the ghostly aura here. So I stopped here. Chapter 7. The Resurrection of Martyrs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Among them, Yang Xiaofeng took out a blank yellow paper symbol from his pocket, pinched the formula with the left finger, and clamped the paper symbol with the index and middle fingers of the right hand. Close your eyes tightly, still reciting words in your mouth. Then, Huang Fu threw it to the ground. The yellow talisman was almost falling to the ground, but it was blown back by a black breath. Yang Xiaofeng grabbed the yellow talisman. Everyone around came closer and saw the originally blank yellow talisman. Surprisingly, there was an extra trace of black energy. The black aura on this yellow talisman is the remaining ghost aura of the ghost driver. Oh, I feel like there are two ghostly auras, why can only catch one? Yang Xiaofeng held on to the paper talisman in his hand, frowning in confusion. Luo Yong was also curious because he clearly and vaguely felt two ghostly auras. Long-term interaction with ghosts. Let them gradually become more sensitive to the sense of ghostly energy. However, this ghostly aura is indeed true. So that's the demon level, the ghost driver. Yang Xiaofeng said heavily. Ghost level, for them, the threat is very great. There have been about 10 recent homicide cases in Linhai City. Most of them were written by ghost drivers. Even some of them in the lingering bureau near the sea died at the hands of ghost drivers. The level of difficulty at the demon level depends solely on these ordinary members of the supernatural realm. If it is a solo confrontation, there is only one dead end. For this reason, the bureau also held several meetings, specially designed for targeting ghost drivers. Find ways to deal with ghost drivers, because it is usually disguised as a taxi driver to commit the crime. The positions that appear are irregular and change very quickly. There are only a few in the Lingi Bureau of Linhai City who can deal with the level of evil spirits. It will not exceed one hand. These few of them are all in high positions. Everyone has their own responsibilities to manage. It's impossible to always personally mobilize. Therefore, for so long, the supernatural situation has not been able to find a suitable solution. I'm having a headache. I didn't expect the ghost driver to be destroyed in the cemetery like this now. Who could have killed the ghost driver so easily? What was the specific situation reported earlier? Luo Yong asked the nearby police officer Li Xuedao. It means that someone hit a ghost at the Martyrs Cemetery in Linhai City, requesting rescue. It said that a female anchor hit a ghost during her live broadcast. However, the person who called the police station to report the incident was an enthusiastic netizen, not myself. Li Shui scratched her head. Even if the ghost driver has already died, they still need to write a report when they come back. So, we need to investigate everything as thoroughly as possible. Just then, another police officer next to him was holding a phone. Hurriedly running over, he said, "Wait, you guys, look at this." Li Shui took the phone in confusion. Yang Xiaofeng and Luo Yong both followed and looked over. The video playing on the phone is exactly the one where Xiao Yi killed the ghost driver. In the picture, the female anchor is tightly locked by the ghost driver's neck. Watching my face turn red, it's almost gone. The next second, a figure appeared out of thin air. A slap on the head of the ghost driver has split the house. Yang Xiaofeng squinted his eyes, looked at his phone, and then turned to look at the tomb next to him. Isn't that where they are located? A ghost-level ghost driver, just slapping his head away. And then the apprentice hands split it in half. How can this demon level in the video be different from the demon level we know about? Yang Xiaofeng opened his mouth wide. No one has a more intuitive understanding of the power of evil spirits than these members of the Supernatural Bureau. In the video, the ghost driver is in Xiao Yi's hands. It's like a piece of paper, just tear it apart. Is this green outfit? The Martyrs' revival. Luo Yong's expression froze as he whispered. Dressed in green, and also in the Martyrs' Cemetery. They couldn't think of a better explanation besides the action of the martyrs. Let me take a look. Luo Yong took his phone and carefully watched everything in the video and comment section. I have a detailed understanding of the situation. That is to say, the female anchor ran into ghosts and fled here in a panic. At a critical moment, the female anchor's great-grandfather revived and killed the ghost driver. Yang Xiaofeng summarized the process. Even in today's era of rampant ghosts and monsters, this kind of thing is still full of drama when it comes to speaking. There are ghosts in the world, that's right. But they are all murderers. The revival of the martyrs has never been heard of before. And it seems like this martyr left the cemetery with the female anchor. Li Shui said. So, does this mean that the martyr of recovery is still alive? Although killing the ghost driver is a good thing, the matter of the martyr's recovery is still very important. Not to mention anything else, let's just look at it from the fact that he is capable of tearing down evil ghost-level drivers by hand. What level will this martyr of recovery be? Stronger ghost level? Or spirit level? I dare not think, for Yang Xiaofeng and Luo Yong, who are just field workers in the Supernatural Bureau. The ghost level is not something they need to consider. However, the matter still needs to be clarified. So, several people quickly fermented through videos and the internet. Tracing back to the source, we found Xiao Zhiqing's live broadcast room. At this time, the number of viewers in Xiao Zhiqing's live broadcast room, it has already exceeded 100,000 plus. This really is it. Yang Xiaofeng and Luo Yong exchanged a glance. In the screen of their mobile live broadcast room, there is a young man sitting who looks just in his 20s. However, across the screen that aura emanating from the body is by no means something that ordinary people can possess. But at this glance, Yang Xiaofeng and Luo Yong can be certain. It's not fake. It's true, the martyrs have revived. At the same time, there is no doubt. This martyr definitely has the ability to start tearing down ghost drivers. The meaning of this elder's live broadcast is probably. Yang Xiaofeng whispered. I guess it's about spreading the news. It is very difficult for ordinary people to get in touch with senior management. So, it is through the internet that we can expand our influence. In this way, you will soon receive news from above. Automatically locate this martyr. Perhaps he has something important to say. Luo Yong said. Yang Xiaofeng nodded. The two of them turned around and quickly ran back into the car. And turn on the computer and retrieve all the currently known information, including videos, as well as live streaming rooms, Xiao Zhiqing's account, and so on. Edited into a file, packaged and sent to their team leader. The matter is of great importance and requires prompt notification. Within the Lingyi Bureau in Linhai City, there are 7 small teams. Each team consists of 11 people. Yang Xiaofeng and Luo Yong are members of the 6th team. Soon, the captain of their 6th team answered the phone. The Martyr's Resurrection. In the middle of the night, what are you joking about? Sleeping slot. What a real thing. The captain continued on the phone, originally intending to scold Yang Xiaofeng and the others. After opening the file, I glanced at it twice and immediately lost all drowsiness. Immediately hung up the phone. After carefully reviewing the documents sent by Yang Xiaofeng and his team, it was quickly sent to the director of the Lingyi Bureau in Linhai City. Director. The martyrs are recovering. Your captain is tired of it, isn't he? Are you joking? I'm testing, is this really happening? Doodle, hang up the phone. Subsequently, the minister of the Provincial Department of Spirituality received a call. Minister. Did the martyrs recover? Report. In just about half an hour. Yang Xiaofeng and Luo Yong have not gotten off the car yet. The news has reached Kyoto, the headquarters of the supernatural world. Fortunately, the notification was timely. Because this matter is far more important than they imagined. At 3 o'clock in the morning. The supernatural headquarters in Kyoto. The Commander.in.Chief received an urgent document from Linhai City. Chapter 8. Shanhe Tuan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Linhai City. Martyr's Resurrection. What kind of omen is this? Commander-in-Chief Lu Huaid sat in front of the computer. The glasses reflect screen light. The matter of ghosts killing ghosts. Except for special Taoist or Buddhist techniques. I have never encountered it before. Nowadays, ghosts are released from cages and roam the world. The martyrs followed in their recovery. It is not without this possibility that ghosts and spirits can be killed. There were so many ancestors back then. Actually, there's no need to rush like this. Make him, the Commander.in.Chief, wake up overnight to read the documents. If every city is constantly rushing documents or reports, then he is the Commander.in.Chief. Even if you work 20.5 hours a day, you can't handle it. Before opening the file, Lu Huaid noticed the text attached to the document. When Lu Huaid noticed 3 of the words, suddenly, the pupils contracted a bit. Is this a mountain and river group? Lu Huaid recited aloud. The dusty memories of the past reappeared in Lu Huaida's mind at this moment. At this moment, he realized why the documents were repeatedly urgent. After layers of approval, he appeared in front of him at 3 a.m. If it's a mountain and river group, it is indeed necessary to check it the first time. Linhai Martyrs Cemetery, Xiao family, martyrs. Xiao Yi. Lu Huaid was reading while looking at the information. Finally, my gaze fixed on a screenshot of Xiao Yi. This face and posture. The unique temperament gradually made Lu Huaida's expression more serious. It's really him. That's right. Back then, the leader of the Shanhe regiment, Xiao Yi. He has recovered. Lu Huaid stood up excitedly. I didn't expect to receive such good news in the middle of the night. Lu Huaid walked back and forth with his hands on his back. It's like thinking about something. If it involves mountains and rivers, things need to be carefully considered. After a while, Lu Huaid just sat at his desk. Xiao Bai. Lu Huaid spoke up and summoned his assistant. After knocking at the door, a young woman wearing glasses is holding a document in her hand. I opened the door and walked in. Commander, is there anything I need to command? Assistant Xiao Bai asked. As the overall commander of the supernatural headquarters, sometimes situations are urgent. Even in the middle of the night, it is necessary to issue some instructions in a timely manner. Even as an assistant, she is not the only one, Xiao Bai. She works the night shift, and there is also a little black person in charge of the day shift. Take turns on duty and coordinate matters. Only in this way can we complete the tasks arranged by the overall commander in a more timely manner. Can you arrange my itinerary? I need to go to Linhai City tomorrow. Lu Huaid said. After much thought, he still felt that it would be better to go to Linhai City in person. On the one hand, there are issues with the mountains and rivers. At present, Only the true high-level officials in Kyoto know about it. Sending someone else is not very convenient. On the other hand, it is to go in person. It can also show more respect and importance towards Xiao Yi. Linhai City. Understood. Although Xiao Bai was puzzled, he dared not ask more questions. Whatever the overall commander arranges, she only needs to be responsible for doing it. However, Linhai City is just a third-tier city. She was quite curious why such a big figure as the Commander-in-Chief suddenly wanted to go there. Is it because of the urgent document just now? After giving instructions to the novice, the Commander-in-Chief stood up and walked out of the office. Returned to his own room. Linhai City, within Guangming Community. Xiao Zhiqing has already established her reputation and made phone calls. Notify the people within the clan. Ancestor. Revived. Did you really come back? On Xiaoqing's side. Hurry up and book your tickets. Back to Linhai. Those who haven't been notified yet, find a way to notify them quickly. How do I feel like I'm dreaming? Did my ancestor really come back? In the family prestige group, the news never stopped in the middle of the night. Everyone was shocked by Xiao Yi's recovery and return. Even after the Xiao family was crushed by the Lin family. No one will take over as the head of the family anymore. Even the ancestral home disappeared later on. The Xiao family has lost their backbone. Now hearing about Xiao Yi's recovery and return, everyone can't help but get excited. Crazy booking and rushing back to Linhai City overnight. Among them, including Xiao Zhiqing's parents who work outside. Xiao Qing hit a ghost. Did her grandfather revive and save her? Grandpa is at our house now. Xiao Zhiqing's father, Xiao Nan, was even more unbelievable. However, I still rushed to the station as soon as possible. As for Xiao Zhiqing. One night, I was startled by another ghost collision. I have to rush to work again, and I've been tired all day. So, Xiao Yi asked her to quickly go and rest first. The live broadcast was also shut down. Those people who should have noticed, right? Xiao Yi stood by the window, looking at the night sky and muttering. With the spread speed of the internet, it won't take long to think about it. Someone will come over by themselves. There is still a system panel hanging in front of me. Just being at the level of a fierce ghost is not enough. With the help of the system, as long as I kill ghosts, I can level up. And the speed of improvement should be much faster. Xiao Yi pondered deeply. After all, Li Gui is in the hierarchy. It's just a matter of being in the third level position. The level of threat is a city. Since we already have a system. This level is certainly not enough for Xiao Yi. If we go killing ghosts without direction like this. Those ghosts are not like cats and dogs, they can be seen everywhere. Just finding it would be very troublesome. And, I want to improve quickly. It's best to kill some higher level ghosts. An ordinary wandering soul is killing 10 or 100. It's better to kill a fierce ghost to improve. Therefore, in this regard, we need to leverage the power of the so-called supernatural situation at present. They must have some intelligence about ghosts. Also, it's the Lin family. Our people have been displaced and scattered everywhere. During this period, we need to handle it properly after all the ethnic people arrive. Xiao Yi said in a low voice. With one eye closed and one eye open, the family is gone. Who wouldn't be angry if it were someone else? Xiao Yi sat on the sofa, releasing a fierce ghost-like aura. A dark tide that seemed imperceptible to ordinary people quickly enveloped the entire building. In this way, as long as there are other ghosts approaching, Xiao Yi can discover it immediately. Chapter 9. Xiao Yi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Next, he just regained consciousness. We also need to make good adjustments and take a break. Make some plans for the future. After a short night of fermentation. On the internet, a craze has formed in Linhai City. From earlier, shocked by Xiao Yi's revival and the ghost-killing incident. Moving on to the later part, Xiao Zhiqing explained what the Lin family had done. Among them, many netizens are from Linhai City. I have heard of the former Xiao family. I have also heard from older generations about the contribution of the Xiao family to Linhai City back then. Therefore, the Lin group became the target of a crackdown for a while. Under the official account of Lin Group, private messages and comments are packed with people. Everyone is questioning them. Is it true that they colluded with foreign businessmen to suppress the Xiao family during the war? In today's era, the power of the internet is still very great. The rhythm doesn't stop at all. No, they sacrificed themselves on the battlefield and worked hard for the country. Why did you let this steal their home? We can understand the serious business war, but is it your fault to collude with foreign businessmen? Martyrs revive. People are heroes. When we killed the devils, now we kill the devils. We shouldn't deceive anyone, right? I must give an explanation today. What's going on? Let me see what's going on. Shaking his head, I thought you were a conscientious enterprise at first. The feeling is that the country is hard to get rich, and people who eat blood mantu. Lin Hai department store is built on the head of their ancestral home. Don't you feel uneasy sleeping at night? Netizens not only report their accounts to others thousands of times, but also to others. Faced with criticism from netizens, even the largest enterprise of the Lin Group, it is also impossible to completely ignore it. At 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Inside the Lin family villa. The current head of the family, Lin Mutian, is wearing a nightgown. Leisurely arrived downstairs to enjoy breakfast. In today's Linhai City, the Lin family dominates and their lives are indeed comfortable. As the head of the family, Lin Muxianru is only in his 40s this year. Most of the work of the group has already been completed. It was all handed over to his sons. I only need to enjoy life every day and don't need to take care of anything. After reaching a certain level, money is only likely to earn more and more. No matter how despicable these sons are, it is impossible for them to be completely defeated. So, unless there is something significant, his sons will find him and seek his opinion. Lin Mutian just sat down. The servant has already respectfully brought the breakfast over. Neatly placed in front of Lin Mutian. In his position, it's really difficult to have any more troubles in life. Speaking of this, Lin Mutian would like to thank his grandfather. If it weren't for his grandfather being decisive enough back then, crushed the Xiao family at the right time, now, he could never be so comfortable. Dad, did you schedule Mr. Matsuda to taste tea this afternoon? Lin Yu, the third son, smiled and stretched out his head, tentatively asking. These sons were all born out of one hole after another by him. How could one not know their caution? But without an answer, I cut a piece of steak and put it in my mouth. Can you hand over Mr. Matsuda's newly opened online supply agent to me? Nowadays, with the development of e-commerce, the import cost is much lower than before, and some technologies are even inferior. But many people in China still only focus on imports, and when it comes to Japanese manufacturing, they feel full of craftsmanship. If Mr. Matsuda's online supply agent could be entrusted to me, I would definitely be able to do this job well. Lin Yu continued. Now they have 4 sons in the Lin family. Daughters are not included. Main oversees important customer resources. All are still in the hands of Lin Mutian. This is all the legacy left by our ancestors. It's not until the heir is truly determined. Lin Mutian will not be easily released. So, the sons all want to make more out of Lin Mutian's hands. Well, let's take a look. Lin Mutian wiped his mouth and was about to get up. Lin Lang, the eldest son, suddenly stood up with him. Wait, Dad, there's one more important thing. Lin Lang quickly said. Lin Mutian stood still in confusion. This eldest son usually acts calmly and deeply in his heart. At present, the vast majority of things can be handled by oneself. Why do you have something to say today? What's going on, Lin Lang? You can tell me. Lin Mutian sat down again and gave his eldest son a chance to speak. Just last night, a bizarre ghost collision occurred in Linhai City. Lin Lang said. At the dining table, several brothers couldn't help but furrow their brows. Hitting ghosts. Isn't it quite common to hit ghosts in this era? Their Lin family hired a professional supernatural consultant to protect them. There is no need to consider the issue of ghosts. What's there to tell their old father about? The female anchor ran into ghosts late at night and escaped into the Martyrs Cemetery in Linhai City. Just as I was watching the female anchor being killed by ghosts. In the cemetery, the martyrs revived. Killed the ghost in an instant. And it's also a ghost-level ghost. Lin Lang ignored the eyes of the brothers and continued. The martyrs' revival. Lin Mutian pondered and said. This is quite a rare thing. I have never heard of ghosts killing ghosts before. Big brother, although the situation is indeed bizarre, it has nothing to do with us, right? Lin Fengji, the second son, asked. The boss also put in a lot of effort to say a few more words to his father. That's it. If the martyrs recover, let's just recover. What does it have to do with our Lin family? It's like we have martyrs in the Lin family. Lin Yu grinned and said. Next moment, Lin Mutian's cold and stern gaze scared him back and he dared not speak again. Such a big family. Is it worth pretending not to have a martyr? It's related. The most important thing is that you and your brothers should all know about this martyr of recovery. His surname is Xiao. Lin Lang said heavily. Xiao. When this word comes out. Lin Mutian's expression instantly sank. The pupils have slightly shrunk. Even the other brothers on the dining table dared not speak. Their Lin family is naturally sensitive to the word Xiao. Martyrs Cemetery, Xiao, shouldn't I? Lin Yu almost couldn't spit out a bite of sausage. That's right, this revived martyr's name is Xiao Yi. The female anchor who was chased by ghosts happened to be his great-granddaughter Xiao Zhiqing. Lin Lang said. Quiet. The entire Lin family villa is quiet. Although even Lin Mutian has never truly met Xiao Yi. But he still remembers it to this day. When he was a child, his grandfather often talked about a name. It's just Xiao Yi. Chapter 10. Death is a Ghost. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Back then, due to the existence of Xiao Yi, the eldest son of the Xiao family. Leading the Xiao family to unprecedented prosperity. If it weren't for Xiao Yi rushing to the battlefield later. Even if the Lin family allied with foreign businesses, it would be difficult to shake the position of the Xiao family in Linhai City. Others don't know. Lin Mutian knows what kind of person his grandfather is. Act harshly, be arrogant, even arrogant. If you want to achieve anything, you will do whatever it takes. It is difficult for such a person to admit that they cannot win. But back then, Xiao Yi from the Xiao family was just capable. Even became the shadow of his grandfather. Worried from time to time will Xiao Yi make a comeback after the war ends. Fortunately, the news of Xiao Yi's death in battle and sacrifice on the front line came back. Lin Mutian's grandfather breathed a complete sigh of relief. There are no more concerns. Cut off all the business of the Xiao family in one fell swoop. Linhai City is just so big, with limited resources. If the Lin family wants to stand up, they must step on the top of the Xiao family's head. It can be done by any means. This is what Lin Mutian's grandfather often says. Why did he just revive? So many martyrs, who's not good for recovery? Lin Mutian said gloomily. capable of killing ghost-level creatures. It's difficult to do it even if the strength level is not low. And after discovering that his ancestral home was missing, he asked about his great-granddaughter's family. That is to say, he already knows what our Lin family has done. In addition, he also had his great-granddaughter with hanging hair live stream. The pace on the internet is very high now, and everyone is attacking our Lin family. After much thought, I think this matter needs to be consulted with you, Dad. Lin Lang sighed and took a deep breath. As soon as he learned the news, I immediately went to understand the complete process of the incident. After all, it's in Linhai City, so the search is still relatively fast. Just for a moment, he couldn't think of a good way to deal with it. Even after so many years of death, this person is still as tricky as Grandpa said. Lin Mutian said gloomily. Lin Mutian firmly believed that Xiao Yi must have been intentional. I just want more people to pay attention to him. Just came out of the Martyrs Cemetery and revived as a martyr. I accidentally killed the ghost again. In this case, the heat is definitely high. Moreover, it is the aspiration of the people. No matter what is said at this time, netizens will believe it. Whenever that time has passed, I'm afraid the heat won't be as high as it is now. Lin Mutian clenched his fists tightly, pondering countermeasures in his mind. Let public opinion go unchecked. There will definitely be no benefit for them. The current internet is like a killing sword. Even if their Lin group is large, it will inevitably also be subject to certain impacts. The most important thing is they, who have been around for a century, place great importance on reputation. Damn it, a dead person is causing us so much trouble. No way, Dad, just call out 2 masters and go kill him. Regardless of whether he is a martyr or a hero, a dead person is a ghost. So what about the recovery? If it were to be extinguished again, wouldn't it be over? Lin Yu stood up and cursed, saying. Pop. Just finished speaking. A crisp and loud slap landed firmly on Lin Yu's face. A brainless fool. He can easily kill ghost-level creatures. Do you think it's possible to be so easy to kill? Moreover, under the current trend, he not only does not hide himself but also deliberately attracts so many people's attention. If we were to take action at this time, wouldn't it be a guilty conscience? Lin Mutian angrily rebuked. Lin Yu's face was burning with pain as he was being whipped one by one. Suddenly, it wilted like an eggplant beaten by frost. Lin Mutian panted heavily in anger. Suddenly, my eyes lit up again, as if I had thought of something. A strange smile appeared on his face and he said, ha ha ha. It makes sense. Regardless of whether he is a martyr or a hero, a dead person is a ghost. That's right. Damn it, sometimes you still look a bit like me, a bit clever. Lin Mutian placed his hand on Lin Yu's head again and touched it. Lin Yu, who had regained his father's recognition, smiled brightly again. Glancing proudly around the other brothers on the dining table. Since an old man who has been dead for almost 100 years knows how to use the power of the internet. As living beings, why can't we use it? Lin Lang, you can make 1 or 2 million and hire some people to take care of the rhythm. What's the name of the woman who bit and killed the Xiao family? She writes scripts and colludes with ghosts to create public opinion. This charge should be quite serious, it's enough to make her drink a pot. Lin Mutian smiled and said. Money can make ghosts grind, and the internet is no exception. As long as there is enough capital, what do you want the internet to spread? The internet has to spread something. Some are ignorant people who know nothing and follow the rhythm of eating melons. Understood. It's truly you, Dad. Lin Lang exclaimed excitedly. Otherwise, ginger is still old and spicy. So quickly, Lin Mutian came up with a solution. After speaking, Lin Lang hurriedly turned around and left to arrange for the people below to do things. Just as he left the dining table, he was stopped by Lin Mutian again. Wait, Lin Lang. In addition, Lin Hai department store in the Eastern District is temporarily closed for 2 days. Don't open for the next 2 days. Lin Mutian added. The location of Lin Hai department store is built on the ancestral land of the Xiao family. If this air vent is not turned on, there may also be a lot of trouble. So, why not close for 2 days first? The revenue of Lin Hai department store is significant for the vast Lin family. Actually, it's not much. At that time, it was entirely because of the funding from the Japanese side. That is to say, they have been cooperating all along, and what they call, Mr. Matsuda. I have set my sights on this place. The yin-yang master of the Matsuda family came to investigate. After studying for half a day, it must be said that the location of the ancestral home of the Xiao family is a feng shui holy land. It must be used by the Japanese, that's why it was seized. It is said to be a collaboration between the Lin family and the Japanese side. In fact, the Lin family's store accounts for only 10%. However, as long as the store does not close down, the management right is in the hands of the Lin family. Lock it up for 2 days, it's harmless. Besides, Lin Mutian still has feelings. Since Xiao Yi, as a dead person, is not well hidden after recovery. Such a large drum is eye-catching. There must be something big to do. Maybe I will return to my hometown and visit my ancestral home. Let Master Yu go and sit down. Didn't he always say he had some means? I don't want to join the Supernatural Bureau because I feel like they're giving me less. If Xiao Yi appears at the Lin Hai department store, whether it is captured alive or killed, I can give Master Yu this number. It can also be considered as a permanent cure for future troubles, worth it. Lin Mutian said, extending one hand and spreading 5 fingers. Lin Lang and many brothers were slightly stunned. I didn't expect my father Lin Mutian to act so boldly this time. It seems that the ancestor of the Xiao family is also very wary. Since Lin Mutian instructed, Lin Lang would naturally recruit. If Xiao Yi delivers it to his door by himself, I can't blame them anymore. Not long. The official account of Lin Group. Sure enough, a video responding to the hot topic was released. And this response is also very sincere. Surprisingly, it was Lin Lang, the eldest son of the Lin family, who personally left the country. The video quickly attracted a crowd of netizens to watch. In the video, Lin Lang is dressed in a suit, with a cold and solemn expression, exuding a grand demeanor. Many netizens are concerned about what happened last night. Here, I, Lin Lang, will answer for everyone.